fleet of yachts, each manned by a single sailor, sets off for an around-the-world adventure. But halfway through the race, 2 of these yachts are reported lost at sea, somewhere in the Antarctic's dangerous and frigid Southern Ocean. One of the missing yachts was piloted by Frenchman Terry Dubois, the other by Englishman Tony Bullimore. They were both competing in the Vendée Globe Challenge. The 27,000-mile circumnavigational race starts in France, travels down the coast of Africa, and then circles the continent of Antarctica. Competitors sail around the tip of South America before heading back across the Atlantic Ocean to France. 2 months into the race, the Royal Australian Navy learns of a pair of distress signals somewhere in the Southern Ocean. For the 2 competitors, something has gone terribly wrong.
Started 15.
Now, Captain Rayton Gates and the crew of the HMAS Adelaide must sail from Australia to Antarctica to find them.
There was no one on board who had ever been that far south. There was no one who had experienced those conditions. The challenges of just getting down to the rescue area were immense.
It will take the frigate days just to reach the area. To aid in their search, the Australian Air Force dispatches a PC-3 search plane. The PC-3 is equipped with the latest in sonar and infrared technologies that could help locate the missing yachts. After searching the area, the pilot sights an overturned yacht and a survivor. They believe the man is the missing French sailor, Terry Dubois.
So standing by for updated position of Mr. Dubois.
The Orion drops supplies and a pair of rafts, then sends their location coordinates to the HMAS Adelaide.
Once we knew that we had someone alive, that's it, we're on our way.
But the frigate must still battle through 3 days of severe conditions before Captain Gates gives the command for the ship's Seahawk helicopter to fly ahead. The helicopter crew spots the rescue rafts dropped by the Orion days earlier. Terry Dubois is on board and alive. As the helicopter circles back for position, the crew readies the winch. An air crewman is carefully lowered down to Dubois. The winchman works to steady the line. After securing his harness, the pair are pulled aboard the Seahawk. Weathered Frenchman Terry Dubois enjoys a hot cup of tea after more than 90 hours shipwrecked in the icy Southern Ocean. The ship's crew welcomes one very lucky sailor aboard the HMAS Adelaide.
He's online.
But there is still another distress signal coming from a location even further south. Captain Gates knows that time must be running out for sailor Tony Bullimore. For 4 long days, the crew of the Australian Navy frigate, the HMAS Adelaide, has been battling the icy waters of the Southern Ocean. Captain Rayton Gates is leading the search for the second of 2 racing yachts that have disappeared in these treacherous seas.
Someone in the water down there, their life can be measured in minutes. As time goes on, your confidence decreases and you have to rely more and more on hope to drive you.
The Adelaide is only 900 miles off the frozen coast of Antarctica in the Southern Ocean, when infrared cameras aboard an Australian Air Force plane pick up images. It appears to be Tony Bullimore's capsized yacht.
Everyone on the bridge was focused, but we couldn't see the yacht until we were within 1,000 yards of it. It was the grey sky, grey sea, white caps of the ocean. And I recall the very first time the yacht raised above the sea and the whole bridge team saw it.
The crew can see that the keel is snapped from the hull and there is no life raft. Quickly, their mood shifts.
So we're excited at finding the yacht, and then the realism of him being alive in there, how small those chances were. We're fighting our emotions at that time.
But Captain Gates refuses to give up hope. He launches a rescue boat to the hull. Crew members gather on board to watch. The crew arrives at the yacht. There is no sign of life as the rescuers circle the hull. The crew bangs several times on the outside of the capsized yacht.
We're all watching this, peering at the yacht, and suddenly this yellow immersion suit appear on our side of the yacht. Everyone on the ship can see this guy floating around.
A diver from the boat swims over to the sailor. After nearly 5 days trapped in the water-filled hull, enduring freezing seas and hurricane-force winds, 58-year-old Tony Bullimore is plucked from the icy Southern Ocean.
The elation on the board of that ship was just absolutely amazing. That he was there, he was alive.
Although cold, hungry, and frostbitten, the English yachtsman is ecstatic.
Boy, when I saw this ship standing there and the plane going over the top, and a couple of guys, peering over the top of the upturned hull, it was heaven, absolute heaven.
The mission is complete. 2 distress signals have been answered, and 2 grateful sailors are on board. Captain Gates and his crew return to their home port in Perth to a hero's welcome. Back at home in Bristol, England, yachtsman Tony Bullimore contemplates what went wrong. He had over 200,000 miles of sailing experience when he entered the fateful Vendée Globe competition. He had carefully charted his course for the 27,000-mile solo race so that he could achieve maximum speed.
The closer I could get to Antarctica, the shorter my course would be. That would give me more chance to win the race.
Bullimore's competitor, Frenchman Terry Dubois, had the same idea. But the sailors say a brutal storm kicked up in the southern seas as they were making their crossing. Their yachts were pummeled by 150-mile-per-hour winds and 8-story waves. Bullimore believes that his boat hit a submerged iceberg. The 4-ton keel snapped off, rolling the yacht upside down. Bullimore was left standing on the cabin roof.
Once the boat filled up with water, it was just like a deep freeze.
Inside the darkened hull, Bullimore fashioned a makeshift hammock to keep himself out of the frigid water. Because of the horrendous ocean conditions, he knew he could not survive outside. He had to remain inside the capsized boat.
The vessel was full of water, thousands of gallons was just sloshing all over the boat.
Hours, then days passed. Bullimore began to lose hope.
There was a time after 4 days, running up to 5 days, that I actually thought I bought it. My body temperature was dropping all the time. I did not believe that a vessel would get to me or was coming to me. It was just a matter of time.
But after almost a week in sub-freezing waters, Bullimore's yacht was found.
Why did Tony survive? It comes down to preparation, but more than that, just the tenacity of the man, the mental strength.
Today, both Bullimore and Dubois continue to race, sailing the world's most dangerous oceans. But they know, without the determination and perseverance of the Royal Australian Navy, they would have never been rescued. As one sailor to another, they salute the brave men and women of the Australian Armed Forces who risked their lives to ensure safety on the world's oceans.